this is going to be our cold open.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So how far back? Okay. So I have an active imagination, and I've created this origin story, this mythology for Gavin, because your name is spelled, traditionally it's pronounced Gavin. Okay. And so then I feel like I picture you just being a young teen at the dinner table with your parents. It's all very aesthetically pleasing. Okay. Your father is maybe slightly aloof. He's maybe looking at the newspaper. Your mom, she looks at you and she says, Gavin, please pass mashed potatoes. And this is your moment because you've been doing a lot of discovery. You've been doing a lot of thinking.
Yes.
So you stand up, your hands are on your hips, and you're like, actually, Mom, it's Gavin. And that is how you came out.
And this is Gaytriarchs.
So I'm at martial arts class, and my kids take martial arts class together, but separately. So one class after the other. So inevitably,
you spend many hours at the dojo.
Correct. Whatever it is. And when one is martial artsing, the other one is complaining, and then they swap. So my son is martial artsing, and my daughter says, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go poop. I said, okay, fine. So we get up, we go to the bathroom. She sits in the toilet. I'm just in the other part of the restroom playing on my phone. And then I hear her start singing and kicking her feet and peeling the paint off the walls, the lead paint, I'm sure.
Quite literally.
And I go in there. I'm like, Hannah, have you pooped yet? No. Go. Are you going to go or not? Yes, I'm going to. I go back. She's singing, whatever. And now I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, you're just here to fuck around. You're just here to play. You don't actually have to go poop. Let's go. So I
love
go
this
over.
Girl. I can't wait till she's one of our guests because there is going to be so much trauma I'm going to bring up for her to get off her chest.
Yeah, me too. So I go in there and finally I'm like, Hannah, if you're going to poop, and knowing full well she doesn't have to poop, she just wants to keep saying that so she can stay in the bathroom. I say, if you have to poop, you have to poop right now. And she doesn't break eye contact with me. Her eyes squint a little bit and she pushes a turd out of her butt. On command. Defiantly on command. She definitely didn't have to poop, but when I yelled at her, she just kept that eye contact and just shit and kind of looked at me with a shitting grin like, there you go. Warden. Yeah, warden.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy warden.
Yeah. So my daughter can poop on command. What about your daughter?
She's amazing. She's what we all need. I think more of this in the world, except for you. You don't need more of her. And I get it. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, which makes me think about how did you deal? How have you dealt, David? You and I have been in the eye of the storm, and by eye of the storm, we are literally in the middle of the nor'easter / blizzard of 26 that people are going to talk about for the next 40 years. I have 15 inches of snow outside right now.
Oh,
what about you?
Yeah, we're almost at 2 feet. We are. And then also for people who don't live in a place where there's snow, when you have 2 feet of snow, it's not just 2 feet of snow. It's 2 feet of snow at minimum. And then everywhere else where they've shoveled the snow on either side of that is 4 feet of snow. There are walls of snow around this place.
It's awesome.
I love it. It is awesome. However, as a parent of 2 children and a husband who works full-time from home, it is not like if CPS saw how much television I'm putting in front of my children right now, they would be over here in a fucking second.
But you didn't grow up with snow days, did you? Being from backwoods Florida, right?
Yeah, that's true. I did when I lived in Virginia as like a young kid, but I don't remember them. But no, as in Florida, you have hurricane days, but you don't have snow days.
No, unless the power goes out, that is what a snow day is you watch a bunch of TV in the morning, you put on your snow pants, you go out for 14 minutes, you get freezing soaked, you do 2 runs on, you do 2 runs on the sledding hill that hopefully is within walking distance of your house, and then you come back in and if you have good parents, if you have good parents, they made hot chocolate for you, but actually, frankly, don't absolve yourself of any guilt, folks, because hot chocolate is just the thing that sometimes appears and sometimes doesn't, and you just go back on the TV. That's the magic of a snow day. Now, my children, we divvied them up before the snow day, knowing that it was happening. My son went to his friend's house and my daughter had a friend come over. So we still have 2 kids in the house, but it's also a weirder dynamic because I can't just scream at my daughter. I have to pretend, we have outside observers right now. So
exactly. It's like when you go to like a public bathroom, you're like, yeah, we definitely wash our hands every time we go to the bathroom, for sure. This performative hand washing we do. No, totally. And also, I bet your daughter is more well-behaved with her friend in the house.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. She is. And they've been more independent and I mean, they have spent a lot of time on their phones, obviously, but I have not taken the limits off my daughter's phone, much to her chagrin. But admittedly, they have trashed the kitchen. Also, mind you, we're on our second day of school being off, right? So we're on 50 hours of this epic snow day / sleepover, and they've definitely trashed the kitchen many times, but they also made sourdough starter. So who knows how that's going to work.
How very 2020 of them.
So 6 years ago. But it has been, and I haven't even, I've gotten one picture of my son over the last 2 days, but I know he's living his best life because he's with a bunch of buddies playing in the snow. So I don't know. It's awesome, but I am really glad I don't have toddlers right now because I wouldn't get shit done because I have been working still. And by working, I mean recording Gaytriarchs.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, our main source of income. Yeah, I actually feel like I have the worst age kids for a snow day, because if they were younger, I feel like they could either play by themselves or they're just objects, right? They just sleep or poop all day. Mm-hmm. They are at that age where they need me to witness their game playing, or I need to organize events, or I need to sit them in front of a television, which of course I feel guilty about. But then we do brain breaks, which I've talked about on the show before, which makes me feel a little bit less guilty because they're moving around.
Remind us what a brain break is.
So a brain break, it's genius. If you don't know what they are, if you're a new listener, they are fantastic. They're on YouTube. They're usually between 10 and 20 minutes each. And it's basically like just a series of games. And some of them will be like, hey, here's 3 mansions. Which mansions do you want to choose? And then you just choose one. And then it'll say, great, let's run through the forest. And they have like a Dance Dance Revolution style, like where you run and you have to dodge the banana, move left, move right. And they run like they think they're making it move. They have everybody hold this pose for 5 seconds and then you get a free prize, and the prize will be a candy bar, right? They're not getting anything, right? They're not getting tickets or candy bars, but
they are bought in.
It feels a little like you're playing a video game, but like they're not in control, but they fucking love it. And they're themed, right? So there's like the K-pop one, there's the Lilo and Stitch one, there's the Disney one. So they are really great if you want to not feel so guilty, because they do move. They make you do yoga. They make you do, it's smartly built that way. So yeah, we've been doing those.
You can absolve yourself of guilt let them do what they want. That's the magic of a snow day. Yeah. Let them do what they want. I mean, don't, within reason, I guess.
Because my son wants to do heroin. So you're saying I should let my son do heroin. Great, cool.
I think that limits are good once in a while.
So our listener reached out to us, and our listener is going to have their first baby very soon, which is very exciting. Listener.
Finally, there will be a point to this podcast for our listener.
Finally. And they suggested a top 3 list, but I think it's better as like a full topic, which is he was wondering what things or classes or what do you do before you have a baby that was really worth it now that you've had babies, and what are products you love and what are things that you wish you had done or hadn't done. It's kind of a baby's 101. It is a big discussion. And I talked to Gabe and I was like, we haven't talked about babies for a while. And we should do that because I think some of our listener are about to have a baby or maybe have a brand new baby and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I thought we would do 3 sections of this. We'd do before you have a baby, and then when you're in the hospital with a baby, and then the first 3 months. So Gavin, do you remember what you did before you had your daughter?
So she was born a week early. Because we did surrogacy, she was born in Colorado Springs, actually. That's where our surrogate lived. And we had signed up for a baby class, not a baby making class. We had already skipped that step in the process. And I believe it was at the hospital. And but we were arrogant thinking, she's going to come on time and everything's going to be just the way we scheduled it. So we never got our baby class because she was born a week early. And so in the process, though, I mean, we were novelties in this hospital in traditionally conservative Colorado Springs. But let me say that everybody was like, oh, we got this. Okay, great. And everybody was welcoming and wonderful. But the nurses, we were there for really like 18 hours. I mean, she was born at about 7:30 at night. We stayed the night and we left about 3:00 in the afternoon the next day. And the nurses were so, of course, hands-on and fantastic, and also made us do the stuff and demonstrated stuff for us. But they were there on call if we needed help. And so ultimately,
David, are you focused on before you have baby, or have you already jumped to the second section?
We didn't have a class before we had the baby. We had a.
Did you do anything to prepare? Did you read books? No. Did you ask people's advice? Did you have a? Do you see where I'm going? How I've divided into 3 sections? My
point, though, was ultimately that we sort of read some books. I had babysat babies as a kid, and I knew how to change a diaper. My partner had never changed a diaper in his entire life. And my point is, we didn't really prep that much, but we just absorbed really quickly in the first 24 hours, honestly. And that's what we did. I did read my favorite book that I suggest for everybody, Bringing Up Bebe, which is absolutely fantastic. We tried to read What to Expect When You're Expecting, and that was really fun for the first couple of weeks / months. And then, of course, my attention was grabbed by whatever was on Netflix that week, and then I never went back to it. But my entire point is, you will figure it out. Don't stress. Try to take a class if you can, but you're going to figure it out.
Oh, Gavin, you just really know how to tear down a structured discussion.
You're welcome.
So before you have a baby, so for us, we did do a class at the hospital, and we read a lot of those books. We didn't read Bring Up Baby, but we read What to Expect When You're Expecting. And then the class we took at the hospital, of course, we were the only gay parents there, right?
Of course.
So everyone is clocking us. We are clocking people clocking us, right? We're trying to be chill and cool. We're also the funny ones, right? And then immediately you could tell which of the dads think we're cool and which of them are like trying not to look at us because ew, gay, right? But I just
they might be too turned on.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that the class that we took, now that I've had babies and I've actually done the work, I don't know if I learned anything other than the one.
This is my point.
Yeah, the one thing I remember learning, and everyone learned it at the same time, which was somebody had asked like, "Oh, well, like how many times you change a baby's diaper?" And the woman says, you'll change about 10 to 20 diapers a day in the beginning. And when I tell you, the entire class gasped. Like there was an audible gasp in the room, because I think a lot of us were like, I don't know, once, twice. We think like, how many times do we poop a day? Once, twice. We had no idea that you're changing 20 diapers a day. And how could that possibly be true? And I think about that often. But when I left the class, I remember thinking, I think I learned how to like stop a baby from choking. I think I learned how diapers worked, like the straps and which side goes on which, but I don't really think so.
My biggest preoccupation was, how will I know if there's a fever? Because it seems like it's such a strict thing. If there's a fever, do X, Y, Z. If it gets above a certain amount, then what do? You take it to another DEFCON level. And I was just like, what if I don't know? What if I don't recognize that there's a fever? What if I don't? What if I don't? What if I don't? And you know, I think that we've already talked about at some point top 3 unsolicited advice we got from people. And my favorite was still the woman who reached out to me, calmed me down, put her hand on my shoulder and said, "You'll know." And I mean it, listener. You'll know. You're going to figure it out really quickly.
Yeah.
You'll know.
And the other thing we did before we had a baby was there are a lot of apps where you can track the growth of the fetus or whatever it happens to be at the time. And it will every week be like,
this fruit it corresponds to.
This week you're having a blueberry. This week it's a watermelon.
Right.
You know, it's always very delicious.
Wow.
And what I did.
Quick jump.
Yeah, exactly. What I did like about those, which is it made me feel a little more weirdly in control and calmer about the momentum of the process, because I could see this is where we are. Next week is an avocado, but you're currently at the grapefruit or whatever the fuck it was. And it was kind of fun for you to be like, okay, this week your kid's fingerprints are being kind of made or whatever. You know, it's just like really cool stuff.
I remember the fingerprints.
There's Baby Tracker is the one we used. I know there's a lot of different ones. I think they're all probably great. The reason I
just looked at my phone like, oh wait, what was the? Oh no! That's 7 iPhones ago that I had that app still, but
7 iPhones ago. But yeah, Baby Tracker. There was a pregnancy tracker, but Baby Tracker was the one we used. And the reason I suggest you'd use Baby Tracker is what I loved about it was you did it, and then as soon as the baby was born, it continued on doing exactly what it did every week. It was like, this week your baby's going to be breathing a little slower, and that's why, because blah blah blah. It's kind of like a science based description of what's happening with your baby. And again, it made me feel a little calmer about the process, especially when you're a first-time parent and your baby will do something that scares you because you didn't expect it. And if it's said in the app, oh, your baby's going to start making choking sounds this week, you go, okay, my baby's not dying. This is totally normal or whatever. So I would say my advice for pre-baby is, I don't know about the classes, how informative they would be, but I definitely think get one of these pregnancy trackers and start logging it in. Because, also, when they're born, you can start adding in their weight and their height, then it'll track the growth charts and it'll do all I still get emails every week. It'll say, your 6-year-old this week is learning multiplication because their brain has developed blah, 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 blah. Like, it keeps going, I think, until they're 12. This particular
That's
app.
impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically is the information you would get from the books, like what to expect when you're expecting, what to expect in the first year, et cetera. But let's face it, ain't nobody got time for those tomes walking around with those. So the apps are great. So yes, I'm gonna piggyback on your advice and say yes. And also, don't worry, you're gonna figure it out. Even though that is terrible. That is
It's not helpful. It's not helpful, but it's real. It's true. It is true. But and the last thing I want to say before we wrap up, like the pre-baby, is kind of what are the things that we bought before the baby was there that we either didn't need or whatever. And so the one thing I think everyone who you ask this question to will say is that there's like 3 things you need, right? You need diapers, you need food, and then you need some sort of car carrier, what they call a travel system or whatever. So you will inevitably take a car from the hospital to either the airport or to whatever. So you're going to need a car carrier. And if you get the travel system, it clicks into the base in the car and then also clicks into the base of a stroller. So it's an easy 1-2 punch. Those are really great. And Jamie Grayson, if you are unsure of which ones to reach out reach out to Jamie Grayson. He will know exactly what you should get.
He sure does.
And diapers now, and clothes, right? Like you're going to get so many clothes from your parents and your friends and your family, and you're going to wear none of them because babies don't wear clothes in the beginning. They wear maybe a onesie. Do not buy preemie or what do they call it? Is it size 0 or whatever? It's like like the infant size. Don't buy infant size. Buy 3-month size of everything in the beginning.
Right. That does depend. I mean, my son was a preemie, and so he wore for a month. He was wearing clothes that could fit on your hand, and you're like, this is clothing for a tiny puppet. I mean, you know, it just depends. Seriously, but the size of your hand. But you're right about like, there's no point they'll be swimming in their clothes, but that's fine if they're a full gestational baby who's average sized. But I agree with you, and also if you do get the fancy stuff, do not wait for the right day to have the fancy stuff.
Put the fancy stuff
just
on.
Put it on right away, because if you put that fancy stuff at the back of the drawer waiting for the special day, you will completely forget about it, and then it'll be too small because the babies grow so quickly. So put on the fancy stuff as much as you can,
especially in the beginning, because right about month 2 is where you start to think you maybe made a mistake in your life. And so that first month where you're still like that, like the energy's going, you got visitors, and it's so exciting and it's all new. So and then a place to sleep. Right? A place to sleep. Now, some people are doing a little bassinet next to the bed. Some people put them in the room down the hall. However you do it, all you need is a flat surface for them to sleep on. My daughter slept in a drawer for the first 3 days of her life.
If you were a full-on drawer person.
If you looked at my Instagram or my TikTok, I don't remember which one I did it on, but we for sure, because we were in a hotel those first 3 nights. And so we just had her sleep in the drawer, like the Japanese do. But
and it is perfectly fine.
It is perfectly fine. And then diapers. You're going to buy so many diapers. You're going to want to invest in whatever company that your diapers are from, because you're going to spend so much money. I would say, unless you have a preemie, just start at size 1. If they're it's better to have a little bit bigger, I think, because the straps will go around. As far as how to put them on, your nurses will tell you in the hospital, which will be the next section. But that's pretty much it. The thing I like Gavin said, the thing I want to impress upon you pre-parents is that you're drowning in the what ifs and the I don't knows and the fears and the whatevers.
And also gifts and stuff from people and worried that you don't know.
Should I have
that you don't have
toys?
the right thing?
That's not enough toys. It sounds cliche because you hear it all the time. You need diapers, you need formula,
food,
you need a place for them to sleep, and you need a car carrier. I know you think you need more. I know you do. I know you're in your heart, you're going to go, but we should just get it just in case. This is all you need in the beginning. You can always add on. If you want to add on toys or bottle warmers, don't worry. That's fine. That can come down the road. For now, before that baby arrives, if you have those 4 things, you're set. You're good. Yeah. You're ready to go. You're not missing anything.
And at that point, then put down your worries and just go have sex as many times as you possibly can. Because you're going to be really tired.
Yes.
But
aggressive
sex
sex
is going to be really important. And go out to dinner a lot and also waste time sitting around doing nothing as much as you possibly can, because you will quickly miss out on it.
You will miss out on it. But the other thing I think, talking about the classes, like we said, we didn't get much out of it. However, I will say, enjoy the stuff for what it's worth. If you had fun in the class, like getting excited about having a baby and there's joy in that. Like there's not, it's not a negative thing to take one of these classes. To me, there's joy in like being around other first-time parents who are like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, so we signed up at a class. Like there is joy in that. So I think there's enjoy that part of it too.
Yeah.
And don't feel ashamed. Okay, Gavin, now I will let you move to section 2, which is your baby is born. What advice do we have? What do we? Yeah.
In the hospital, when they say, here's some extra blankets if you'd like to take them, go ahead and take them, because you're going to need those blankets, and you're going to need to go through blankets almost like you go through diapers. And speaking of, they will have a pile of diapers for you as well. Take the diapers and just go with it, because, hey, that's you're saving money right there, and the hospital, and you are paying for it through your hospital bill, no doubt.
And to piggyback on that, I knew that would be the number one advice, which it absolutely is. It would be in mine too. The only advice I will add on top of that, it's just slightly detailed. You will likely not have a baby in the town you live on, so you'll probably have your suitcases with you. Every time those nurses shift, right? Every 4 to 8 hours, the new nurse comes in. Hey, I'm Becky. Let me know if you need anything. You just say, oh, could I get some more diapers and formula or whatever the things are? And then as soon as Becky brings you those things, shove them in your suitcase.
Yes.
So when
like a little Italian grandmother at a buffet with the cookies in the napkins,
wicker purse,
you put those in your purse.
Yep. And then when Becky leaves, and Annette comes in, and Annette's like, hey guys, can I get you anything? You'd be like, oh yeah, we just ran out of formula and diapers. Build that motherfucking stash, because that shit is expensive, especially that like beginner formula, those like little pre-made bottles or whatever. So yes, I knew that would be number one. You're going to take all the pictures. I'm not going to give you the advice to take all the pictures. I trust that you'll be taking all of the pictures in the world. They are wonderful. I don't know if I would suggest paying for those like bougie pictures that the hospital, there's a girl that knocks on your door and she's like, hey, for an extra $600.
Completely pointless.
Yeah, those are not going to be necessary. But I would say my other major piece of advice, and you're going to do this naturally, and Gavin, I promise you will agree, is that anytime you have any question, as dumb as you maybe think it could be, ask those nurses. Those nurses are the greatest thing on this earth. Yeah. They are so wonderful and so smart. And so when don't feel afraid to be like, I don't know how to hold the baby. I don't know how to change a diaper. How close to the butthole do I get? Like those kind of things that feel awkward. This is the time. You will never again in your child rearing life have a professional staff surrounding you while you parent to do anything you want and to answer any questions. It was so important. And I felt really good because they made me feel not stupid for asking things like, is he supposed to breathe like that? Am I allowed to, how do I hold his neck? Like that kind of fundamental, I'm nervous stuff is like, I was just like, to this date, those nurses are some of the greatest people I've ever met in my entire life.
You've got a professional baby assistant, just like you said, David, that, take advantage of that and ask all the questions. And there are truly no dumb questions, except a lot of the questions that probably David did bring up, I would imagine. We would have to ask Brian about that. But yeah, it's also... Is it pathetic to just say, enjoy the ride, even though nobody can because you're in the midst of it and you're so stressed and you're so excited and you're so elated and you're so tired and all the things.
It's the same as before, Gavin. It's your right and it's not helpful for a first-time parent because they can't do that. It's just like I complain all the time when older parents say, just enjoy it because it's going to change. And it goes by so fast. I'm like, this doesn't help now. This doesn't help me right now. Yeah.
142 episops ago, when you said, let's start a podcast, we did say we will not be helpful.
You're right.
Therefore, we are on brand and consistent. Okay?
That's true. And then the last thing I'll say about the hospital is that you are going to feel, I'm going to tell you now, and I hope you hear my voice when you do this. When you are dismissed and they're saying, great, you could take the baby at 3 p.m. today, and your family is meeting you at the door, and you go to the door and those front sliders open up.
Yes.
What's going to happen to your body? I'm happening right now. I'm remembering it. Your whole body is going to start to tingle, and you're going to suddenly realize that you alone are tasked with keeping this child alive. And those doors are going to close behind you, and you will never feel more alone in your life than that moment. I will never forget the feeling of dread when I realized, oh, they just let me leave with it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to check and see if I don't spike this on the ground. What is happening?
But know that is a universal feeling for the mommies too.
Canon.
Every single
Total
person.
Canon.
This is such a universal feeling. So you're not alone. You are not alone. Yeah. And nobody knows what they're doing. So good luck.
Especially not these two assholes. And honestly, I still blame the listener. You're the one who downloads this every week. So Gavin, you have monologued so much that we can't even do section 3 and fit it in our timeline. So we're going to save section 3. Listen, first 3 months.
My monologue was don't do anything and just have faith in yourself.
But so, next week, we will give you episode 143. We are going to finish this Babies 101 class out, and we are going to talk about the first 3 months and what worked for us, what didn't. I'm joking. Obviously, I went long, but I'm very passionate about this because this is such a universal experience for everyone. And also, we had our listener reach out to us. So why don't we move on to something actually helpful, which is our dad hack of the week.
Tell us about, it looks like we have a dad hack of the week, and it comes from you, David. So let's keep hearing your dulcet tones.
My children are really into coloring, and we have coloring books, and it's all the shit. Well, did you know that you can just fucking download PDFs of anything as a coloring book page? Literally anything. And when my husband reminded me of this, I was like, oh. So I asked my kids, I was like, what do you want to color? And then my son, obviously, is like, Ariana Grande. Read into that as you will. And my daughter wants kittens. So all you do is Google kittens colored book pages, PDF free or whatever. It is so great because they get so excited about it, and it feels like a totally new adventure. And so all of their old princess coloring books just don't have the same swag anymore, but every day they go, can we print coloring book pages?
That's it. Now I do wonder,
and it's free.
Being the fiscal irresponsible person that I am, I do think, what are you saving in coloring book costs? Which, let's face it, a coloring book probably costs $2.99 even in today's standards, whereas the ink, which costs $62.99. And I wonder if you're having a savings, but who cares? It's less waste because, let's face it, when they color 3 pages in a coloring book and then it just sits there and collects dust, so that's pointless and nonsensical. But having the one-on-ones, it's like their own personal valet of coloring books. I miss that.
And it's excitement of it being on demand that is the real, like once they start coloring, it becomes just every other coloring book. But then when they go, oh, I get to do rainbows or robots or explosions or whatever, you just, it carries on the activity longer than it normally would, which is all I care about. Are they going to leave me alone?
Haven't you talked about, though, the chat GPT-ization of being able to meld Ariana Grande as a kitten? And so then you can give that the prompt and say, give me a coloring page that's Ariana Grande's face and tattoos on a kitten. And then you're able to create something even more badass.
Yeah, I think ChatGPT could for sure do that. We've been just downloading this is just like freecoloringbookpages.com or whatever. But like, yeah.
It is. You have a whole world of creativity out there. You can be like, meld a lemon with a capybara and Ariana Grande's butt. And it will... I want to see what that is.
Yeah,
In
listener,
fact,
will you make that for us and DM us with that picture?
Okay, but what we do have, even though there's no good news, is we do have a DILF of the week, and I'm super stoked about this one. I'm holding on to the Olympics for as long as I can because I love them, even though I only watched about 15 minutes, and let's face it, it was just the figure skating. But have you heard of Connor McDermott Mustoe? Mustoe, I bet. I'm going to go with that. He is the first out gay speed skater. And I don't know that he walked away with a whole lot of medals, but who cares? Because he's got thirst traps on his Instagram feed. And I mean, in terms of a DILF, obviously he's probably 18 years old. I didn't look that deep, but nevertheless, he will be a daddy one day. So our DILF of the week is Connor McDermott Mustoe. Please come onto the show and tell us about your Olympic experience.
He's also like this very strange combination of like from his waist up, he's like twink all day, like twink, like baby face twink and baby body twink. But then like legs are speed skating legs. It's it's a little bit like a man's body on a horse's, whatever. No, Connor, you are very hot. Welcome to Gaytriarchs. You know what is not hot and not welcome at Gaytriarchs?
Do tell.
Our top 3 list.
Gaytriarchs top 3 list. 3, 2, 1.
Top 3 dogs. I don't know. I was scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I'm excited to hear. Okay. I'm excited to hear what you came up with.
Here's the problem. What I came up with is so basic and rudimentary and obvious. Really? Like what is the point of this thing? To me, it's obvious what at least the top one is. But listen, I'm just going to go with my gut. And I'm going to go with my top 3 dogs. So number 3, Siberian Husky. Inarguably the most beautiful looking dog you've ever seen in your entire life. Like part
with
wolf.
Those blue eyes and everything.
Oh my God. Blue eyes, just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Number 2, this is a little Americana, 1997, Golden Retriever. There's something about a Golden Retriever that feels like family dog, warmth, love. And then number 1, I cannot imagine this is not every person's one forever, a yellow lab.
Kinda
a yellow
it's a little
lab.
basic.
Well, that's what I mean. Yes. That's what I said. Like this is like the most basic list of all time. But like I was just thinking, like, what are the dogs I want around me? Like, I don't want a fucking Chihuahua. I don't want a Yorkie around me. I don't want those dogs around me.
I kind of like Yorkies.
Okay,
Yorkies,
but like a yellow lab, like that that
100%.
just makes me happier than I've ever felt. Yeah. So to me, number 1 dog of all time, yellow lab. What about you?
I'm proud of our different interpretations of your list here. Number 3 for me, Benji. Remember the Benji movies from your childhood?
Oh, yeah.
The 80s, the 90s, Benji. I feel like everybody needs more Benji in their lives, and I'm really surprised that no movie studios have taken up Benji again, because Benji was that scrappy little dog that made great movies in the 80s. So for me, of top 3 dogs, number 3 was Benji. Number 2, Brian Griffin.
Good one, yes.
I want Brian Griffin in my life.
Oh, man. So he'd be a great
number
guest.
2 for me.
Right?
Number 2 for me is just Brian Griffin. And then number 1 for me, actually, as much as I love a yellow lab, as much as I love a black lab, as much as I love a chocolate lab, I think my favorites are Aussies. Australian sheepdogs.
Oh,
They are so beautiful. Their hair flows. They just live there to serve you. They round up the family. They're cuddlers. They don't have quite the I'm a stupid inbred lab, which is a wonderful thing.
Wow,
labs.
hurtful.
They're super smart. They're just super smart dogs.
There's also something like elegant about them.
Aussie.
There's
because they've got that hair that flows.
Totally.
So I had an Aussie. Our last dog was an Aussie. And we were at a dog park one time in New York. And this woman comes up to me and she goes, I just love her tail. It's like her boa.
Oh, Jesus.
And I thought, yes, that was her boa. So that's for me.
I wanted to go more creative. I was going to do like top 3 dogs, like Snoop, Gee style, right? Gee style. Like I was trying to think of like what are some fun ways. I was like, no, I'm just gonna go.
Currently googling Gee style,
like doggy style, babe. Like not missionary, but doggy style. Okay, we'll get there. All right, what's next week?
Top 3 babies. David.
Yes.
Oh my God, I am so stoked about this next guest. Okay, she isn't gay. She isn't a dad, and she really isn't very enthusiastic, at least for the public, which she made abundantly clear to me the first time we talked. But she is cynical, funny, dry-witted, overwhelmed, recovering from being religiously indoctrinated and politically indoctrinated, and over this entire fucking world right now, which makes her the ideal new entry into the Gaytriarchs family. Please welcome Kaitlin. Fuck!
He got really close, Kaitlin. He got really close to getting through that.
I put really the end of your last name onto your first name.
You did.
Well, you did. Maybe for us, you'll be known as Kaitlig, but for the rest of the world, you are Kaitlin Hannig. Kaitlin,
yes.
Welcome to Gaytriarchs.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I am honored to be here. Anytime that gay people know that I'm safe, I'm like, I'm not MAGA presenting today. So it's like, it's an honor.
Being a pretty white woman with blonde hair is a dangerous look. If you are,
oh my gosh, you think I'm pretty?
Okay, so first and foremost, tell us, how did your kids already drive you bananas today?
Okay, well, I got caught doing something. Oh. And my oldest is 14. I have 4 kids. My oldest is 14. I have an 11-year-old, I have a 9-year-old, and then I have a 7-year-old. And my 7-year-old this morning, when I went to go wake him up, he pops his head off the pillow and he says, "I'm so excited to see what the tooth fairy brought me." And I was like,
oh, we've all been there.
He did lose a tooth yesterday. And at 10 p.m. last night, I was like, oh yeah, got to do that. And then I didn't. So, I'm like, yeah, we're so excited. Wait, go wake up your sister first so she can look at it for you or with you. And so he goes in her room and I sprint. Okay. And I pull this off. I put the thing in my pocket and there's money under his thing. And so they come in and he lifts up his pillow and he's like, yay, 4 quarters. Cause like,
nice.
Tooth fairy's cheap.
Good for you.
Yep. Yeah. You got to pay for tooth fairy money or college and you can't have both. Okay. So he's sitting on his bed. He's like looking at his quarters and he's like, should we talk about how mom's the tooth fairy?
Oh no. Busted. Can we talk about how the Chipotle gift card underneath my pillow was a dead giveaway? Yes.
Wow.
And
you were called out.
I was. And I was like, what do you mean? Because I'm in the weird millennial spot where I'm like, I don't like lying to my kids, but also...
But come on,
totally understand that. Where they're like, I feel the same way about Santa sometimes, where I'm like, I want them to enjoy the Santa experience, but also it feels there is a parallel to religion, and I don't want my kids to lie or think God is real. And so I panic about that. And Gavin's always like, just relax. But I totally get what you're thinking. Yes. I've been lying to you for 7 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so he was just like, I'm going to go check your room. I bet you have a stash of teeth. And so then what I do is I pick up on the little things that I can be like, no, I don't have a stash of teeth. So I can say like, I don't have I'm not saying I'm not the tooth fairy, but I'm just like, what? No, I definitely don't have a stash of human teeth in my room. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But do you?
He didn't find his tooth though. I did have a stash of one tooth. Do you guys don't keep your kids' teeth, do you?
This is a constant topic of discussion. Like it is so fucking weird that we culturally keep biological pieces of our children just in books and hair, like we're doing DNA stuff. But Gavin, do you want to tell her what you have?
Okay.
For listener out there who have not heard this story, welcome to Gaytriarchs.
Well, leading off with the sad part of the story is that my mom passed away before I became a dad.
That's not the funny part.
I'm an only child.
I'm already laughing.
So cleaning out my childhood home was my burden / pleasure of doing, right? So I went through it, and she became a bit of a hoarder, not of epic television proportions, but she kept everything, right? Also, I'm an only child. I was the prince. She kept everything. I was going through a box at the back of the Harry Potter closet that was completely stuff. Like if you opened the door, everything would fall out on you on like a sitcom, right? I'm at the back of it. I've gone through a lot of shit. I come to an old-fashioned travel trunk that has every card that mom received when she found out she was pregnant, then my first birthday, then my second birthday, all rubber banded together by rubber bands that had decomposed because they were 33 years old.
Yes, I've seen yes, they turn into dust in your hands.
And I found a little baggie with a little piece of like plastic. And I thought, what is this thing? And there was a little handwritten note in my mom's beautiful handwriting that said, Gavin's foreskin.
Let's just take a moment.
Did you see if it still fit?
Okay, so I hesitate to make the joke that it was a huge piece of plastic, right? But anyway, okay, I'm realizing that Kaitlin, as you're known lovingly to us, I didn't actually say anything about why I'm obsessed with you or why you're here in your introduction. So I'm leaving it to you. Can you just tell us real quick what it is you do that made me say, oh my God, I have to talk to this girl?
I don't know. It's probably the way I can do a one-handed cartwheel, but I didn't know you knew about that.
Well,
No, I am a real estate agent and I'm an asshole.
Yes.
And so I'm the middle of that Venn diagram, but in a fun way because, I mean, there are lots of real estate agents that are assholes, but I do it in my own special way.
Where did you come up with the idea to do it in your own special way of these cynical, hilariously insulting ways of saying, if your fragile ego is big enough to fit in this living room, you'll be, blah, 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 in your, how did you come up with that idea?
Well, because I felt like social media was going to be a way that I was going to reach people just because of the day that we live in. And also because I don't like calling people on the phone. So I was like, maybe I can entice them in a different way. So I was just paying attention to what people were doing on social media. And I realized one of the things I really hate about the industry, about real estate agents, is this thing they do where they're like, your dreams will come true if you have this living room. I'm like, bitch, it won't. Like you're gonna have those same problems. You're just gonna like have more space to have the shoe miss if you live in this house. So like that was kind of like my reaction to what I was seeing in the industry. And then I just like, I don't know, I just tried a bunch of stuff on social media and it's horrifying. If you go through and you see like the stuff before the moment I kind of had things click for me, it's horrifying. It's so embarrassing. Don't go look at it.
Gavin, I guarantee you, Gavin has done the deepest dive into your social media. He hasn't been this excited since Menudo got back together. And it's been a big deal around here at the Gaytriarchs Studios.
Stop. But no, it's just like, so I tried a bunch of other stuff and I was like, man, I don't know. And so then I was like, at that point I had like 1,000 followers and I was like, I have literally nothing to lose. And I think this would be funny. And so then I did it and it took off and it was it was validating to me that I was like, oh yeah, everybody hates the same shit I do. Everybody hates people because it's a form of lying, right? And you're being lied to if this agent is saying that everything in your life is going to be so good. Your mental illness will disappear if you had a kitchen island.
That rash on your leg will go away if you have these barn doors. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I'm curious. So like, obviously this social, while they are kind of paired, like your real job of like actually, running these transactions for people in real estate and your social media are kind of linked. They're kind of separate. Does it actually feed into your real business, or is this just like a separate business that looks the same?
No. Okay. So social media is not a business for me at all. Like people see my follower count, which is like, I don't know.
It's 100,000.
I have, oh no, I mean like I have a couple dozen. So people assume that followers equal money.
Right.
I've had people comment things like that. Like she's doing fine. Don't worry about her.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, no, you guys are wrong. Cause like, on TikTok, people pay for or get paid per views, but I was dumb and I was like, I'm more comfortable with Instagram, so that's where I'm gonna put my stuff. Instagram doesn't pay shit, so I don't make any money on the social media side of things, other than like I've considered doing brand deals every once in a while, but I feel like I'm too picky for them because like being mean and very truthful is part of my brand, so that doesn't always pair well with people paying me to say things they want me to say.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, I have worked with people before that have like paid for me to go out somewhere and be honest. So like I've done a couple Airbnb type places. I went to New York last year and made some videos with a buddy, and he like paid for my flight out there. So sure, there's like something happening over there, but the business is real estate. Like that's it. So, but they aren't separate because that's how I find my people a lot of the time.
Oh, okay.
And it's so they're not separate. But I'm not making money really on the Instagram side.
But I'm always curious. Like it's fascinating to hear because we've had quite a few social media personalities who also have businesses that is their kind of day job. And I'm always curious. I'm like, does it actually feed? Do you actually get clients in Utah that are? And it sounds like yes. So that's, I mean, win-win at this point, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want you to think that I'm like some amazing, like the most successful person ever, because I'm not. Because in real estate, I feel like things take a while. So I've only been in real estate 2-ish years, right?
Yeah. It takes a long time to,
it takes a while because I have a lot of people that follow me, right? But there's a narrow subset of people who are shopping in the area that I'm in and that are shopping right now. So like,
and don't have an agent already. And
whose mom isn't already an agent. And so it does take a while for those things to like build on each other. So like this year, I've already got several things lined up that feel like it's going to be a bigger year than my years previous. But that's another thing I think people get wrong is like, they just think that if you get followers suddenly, you're the most successful.
But in real estate, I feel like the majority of your business it always comes from word of mouth and repeat transactions and repeat customers. And that getting people cold is the hardest part, but selling somebody's home that you sold to them is easier, but that, like you said, takes many, many years. So
well, it was a weird thing because I helped my best friend that I've known from high school. I helped her sell her house. And when she posted the video, like she reposted the video that I made about her house, she had people being like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you got her." And I'm like, I need people to know I am gettable.
Totally
I am gettable. Yep.
Do your kids are your kids, or at least your oldest, on social? And does she, right? Your oldest is your daughter. Does she have opinions or give you social media tips?
She does not give me tips, and which is fine because I don't think I would accept them because I've been on social media way longer than her. I know what it's like. So she follows me. And it was this thing where I was like, I don't want you to be on social media, but because she is a child of divorce, I can't control everything all the time. So we put it off for as long as was feasibly possible. And then one day she casually mentions like, "Oh, look at this thing on Instagram." And I'm like, interesting. I didn't know you had one of those, but she's already figured out the system that I can't claw that back from her. It's fine. Whatever. I am being taken advantage of.
Yeah. We all are.
She follows me. Yeah. She follows me. She doesn't really comment on it because she's 14. So she cannot. She's allergic to saying that anything I do is good or cool.
Sure.
Very, very relatable with my 14-year-old daughter. Yeah. So something you just brought up, I want to pivot on, is to give us a little more of your family makeup. And you are a divorcee, and how has it been managing that over the last couple of years?
I love that word, by the way. Divorcee. It makes it sound like really fancy, right? Does it sound like fancy? It's like, dated. She's a divorcee.
Yes. Yes. I'm not fancy enough to sound fancy, but I will take on divorcee. So I got divorced a number of years ago. I don't care. 4 years, 5?
Distant past.
Something. I don't know. And I had been married for 13 years because I got married when I was 19. So
say more.
Anyway, that's fun. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can get into that later, but like, we can't separate that from the growing up in Utah and being a very righteous Mormon girl. Or trying to be. So I got married at 19, was married for 13 years. There are 4 children as the result of that. And then now I am divorced because that was not, because, here's the thing. When you're 19, your brain's not all developed. Did you know that? Anyway, then your brain starts developing and it kind of changes the way you're seeing things and people and relationships. And not saying that everyone who not saying that everyone who marries young like that doesn't work out for them. But it certainly did not for me. So.
But that's also part of like, this is the part that I'm most fascinated by, because I am this is not the wrong word, but devout atheist. But I also was very religious kind of growing up or whatever. And I also worked a lot in Salt Lake City. So I have a particular affinity for like LDS and the kind of the culture of getting married at 19, having as many kids as you can, gay guys who are married to women who are openly gay to their wife, but they're not gay because God or whatever. It is baffling to me that Mormonism is as prevalent as it is, because it is so new. It's like literally you can just be like, oh no, that's not true, because it's right there. Look,
150 years ago.
I literally saw those things. But like Mormonism is very powerful, but family makeup wise, you are pressured to get married young and have many kids and not have sex until you're married. So you're like, fuck, I need to get married so I can get, blown out behind this Arby's like I did.
I don't think I've done that. Did I miss out on that? You haven't lived,
though. You haven't lived.
You're so young still. You've got plenty of time.
You're just such a baby. So I want to unpack that a little bit, because it fascinates me the most, is like your kind of religious life growing up, and when that pivot point happened where you started to go, getting my own planet after I die, that sounds a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I hope my mom doesn't listen to this, because my family is still so devout, and we haven't really talked through these things because it means so much to them.
Yeah.
And so I don't think my mom will listen, because
but that's but I think you're right. That's an important aspect. I mean, all the kidding aside, my mom also finds a lot of joy in her church, and I'm sure I know it's hard for her to hear. She kind of listens to the show sometimes, to hear me bash religion as much as I do. But like, it is true. It is a hard line, because you're like, I don't want to hurt you guys, and you guys are getting some joy out of it. It's not all bad. Also, it's not real.
So anyway, the thing, Mormonism. Sorry, I'm. You can edit that out unless you think that adds to it.
No, I think that's how we're going to open the show. Is just you're clearing your throat many times.
Yeah. Everybody's had a little bronchitis for the last few months. Anyway, so Mormonism is definitely a cult. And it doesn't seem like a cult on the surface, especially when you're in it, because it does feel nice to be in it, and you don't realize that when you're outside of a cult, you look inside and you see people in cults and you're like, what? But there is a niceness to it. There is a sense of community. And so the reason I'm talking about this is because when you're in it, it's literally a threat to your identity to think about what if this isn't true, and to go down that mental path of like, what if these are lies? Because every choice I made was based on this. All the good things in my life, like you feel the spirit, right? You're taught that you feel the spirit. Anytime you have like a good feeling inside, you're like, that's God. And so then you think like, what if I can't have that again? If I start questioning these things, it turns out you can. You can. Sad dog commercials still exist, so you can still feel feelings. Yeah. So it's hard for me to say when was the moment I allowed myself to question, because there were little glimmers of it all over, but you can't hold on to those because it's scary. So like, I remember a moment when I was graduating high school, and I just was like, I don't know if any of this is true. And then I remember almost like gaslighting myself and being like, it's okay. You don't have to know that all of it's true. It's okay, because it feels good to be here. And so then I just stayed, and you stay forever. And so some people live their whole lives like that, and it can be net positive. It wasn't for me. So my fourth pregnancy, I was so deeply depressed. It was so hard for me. Like each pregnancy got worse for me. The fourth one, absolutely terrible. And I realized like, hey, unless I really start getting serious about like taking care of myself and like my mental health, I will not make it. Right. Like I truly felt like I don't want to be alive anymore. And if I don't do something about this, like I'm a mother of 4, so it's really not an option for me to not want to be alive. And so I started getting into I started trying to unpack like, hey, what's going on here? And so I was going on this little journey of self-love, and I realized one of the most stark reasons or stark moments for me was like, I was at church and I had been working so hard on like building myself and trying to feel like a better person. And I was like, church always felt like the solution, right? Like if I was having a bad day, I was like, God will bless me. If I just make it to church, it'll be good. And so then I was at church after dragging my pregnant ass and 3 kids to church by myself, because I'm sure my children's father was working a lot on Sundays. And I was in the women's group and I realized like, oh my God, I hate myself more now sitting in this room and hearing what they're saying. There was like this moment where we were talking about motherhood and I said something about like, yeah, motherhood is like incredibly hard. And I left it at that and someone got very uncomfortable.
Wow.
And so they raised their hand and they said, but it's so worth it. And I was like, so the fact that someone couldn't just like let me sit or like validate how hard it is without having to fix it. I'm
definitely imagining you as Barbie in the movie dancing and saying, does anybody ever think about death?
But also, I mean,
all the Barbies fall apart.
Yes, but this is the core of this show is like you to be the best mother, you have to be able to say, I fucking hate my kids today every once in a while. You got to purge that shit. You can't just live in this fantasy that is this magical thing all the time.
And to know that you aren't doing something wrong, that everybody else is suffering like that too, and you need to be able to commiserate about how hard it is.
Yes. Yes. So that was like it all. So when you leave Mormonism, it's not like one thing, right? Because it's your whole life. You've wrapped your whole life around this. And so it's not one thing. People talk about shelf breaking. I don't know how in tune you guys are with the Exmo.
But it is my literally under the banner of heaven and living in or working in Salt Lake City as much as I had made me obsessed because I am an atheist and I like talking religion to people. Like I love that like battle or whatever. But something about Mormonism, I think it's the theater of it, honestly. Like all religion has theater in it. That's what makes those emotions happen, right? Remember that scene in Footloose where like Ariel and her dad are like talking at the pulpit and he's like all
Did you know that was filmed in Utah? See? My grandparents' house is in the Kevin Bacon Footloose.
Boom. Look at that. Like you're everything.
So we are technically just 1 degree of separation from Kevin Bacon right
dream.
Now. Well, I don't say what I didn't meet. I wasn't alive at the time, so.
But she says she's like, all I see is lights. I see theater. I see a stage. I see you in a costume, like whatever. But something about Mormonism is it's very theatrical. This is why they love Les Mis. Mormons love Les Mis because it's very big, it's very dramatic, it's very whatever. But anyway, yes, continue on telling us about
Exmo. That's what I want to hear about.
Exmo. Yeah, if you go on Exmo Reddit, you'll catch up real quick.
Wow.
You'll get the basics. But no, I mean, so truly it works for some people. Like I do think that my parents, it makes them happier.
It grounds them
to have a story. And like it does give people this framework for dealing with tragedy. So like I have 3 older sisters because, we're family, 4 kids. And one of my sisters, I don't know how many years it's been now, but we didn't know that her son had brain cancer. And right before his 3rd birthday, he died of brain cancer very suddenly. And so like, it's things like that I'm almost jealous of people to have a way to cope with that.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that my sisters that generationally, like they are more progressive Mormons than my parents are. But I don't think that particular sister, I don't know that she could ever question the church or leave the church because that's the way she feels like she'll be able to see her son again. Right. So anyway, it's a lot to unpack, but this is not an Exmo podcast.
No, but it's fascinating. We want to know all parts of you. And also it's a particular interest of mine, but I think for a lot of people, what is on the other side, like, all the questions are answered for me in a cult or a religion. I don't have to worry about anything. Everything's been answered. And that safety is what keeps people there versus what if I say no to this? I have to like risk not knowing. And that I think is too, like you're saying, is too much for a lot of people. No.
Yeah. But I won't say that it's like, oh, it's all warm and cozy inside because when you grow up in it, if you deviate at all, there is just, I'm just gonna, when I was talking to Gavin earlier, he likened it to this. Okay. So I feel like I have the gay stamp of approval to say it does feel almost like a coming out, because you grow up feeling like there's a wrongness inside of you and that it is you.
And so then when you leave, how dare you say, how dare you take our thing? No, I'm kidding.
It is. I mean, I was on the softball team, okay, in high school, so I'm not. I do think I've earned.
I accidentally touched a boob once on a bus, so like I get homosexuality. I totally get it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Being able to reconcile with the identity that was foisted upon you for much of your life, especially your formative years, and then suddenly questioning it. Yeah, it's a coming out process, and it's very, very, very scary. Obviously.
It is. Yeah. And so many people are finally for it. Like if they live within those lines, they don't have to question. So then it makes it very hard for them to understand why people would.
How do you raise your kids now in terms of church life?
I am neutral. I do basically nothing. Like, so they have Mormon influences around them, right? Like when we go to family activities or whatever, when they're with my family, there's always a prayer. And we've talked about like, hey, this is what they believe. It's okay if we don't believe that. We're going to be respectful. Like, you know, we can, you know, bow our heads for a prayer. So it's not like a battleground at all. But I do keep my ears perked up. Like my kids have gone to church sometimes with friends or with their grandparents. And I always try and do a check-in of like, okay, did you hear anything like interesting? Cause like my oldest two remember going to church. Like I didn't leave the church until, you know, they were a little bit older. And I say a little bit older, I mean like my oldest was 8 maybe. And, so they have experiences from church that they remember, and I don't know. So I try and unpack things with them, but I don't prevent them from going to church. And then, so their dad is not Mormon anymore either. And I'm not 100% sure because I'm not there, right? I don't know what religious stories they're being exposed to. But I do know that he encourages them to pray when, I don't think it's a Mormon thing. I think it's he showed an interest in like some pagan Norse something. So, and I'm not going to point out how that's oftentimes parallel to white supremacy. I'm just going to let everybody think that.
Just let that sit there.
Just we all know that, right? So I don't have to point it out. Anyway,
but that
so my kids are exposed to things and I can't control it, and it's whatever.
But you taking the weight out of it is, I think, the right move. Like I really struggle with this every day because my son will every once in a while say something about God that he sees on, like, or somebody says, and I'm so like, please don't be religious. I will die. Like this is the worst thing.
And he's going to grow up to be he's going to absolutely convert to something.
He's going to be MAGA, totally. But one thing that's really helped in our household is he's like every boy his age, he's 6. Is obsessed with Egyptians now. He wants to know about mummies, and he wants to know about hieroglyphics, and he wants to know about, like, he's literally drawing pyramids every single day. And so it's been great because we've been like, yeah, they used to believe in the god of, you know, the crocodile god that would like eat you if your heart was not pure or whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. And then in the book, it's like, and Egyptians don't believe in those gods anymore. They're Muslim. And they're like, so it's like a really easy way to be like, people just think of, you know, it's all
mythologies. And have that be the blanket. So Christianity is a mythology too.
It is.
You have our stamp of approval for sure. Being able to raise the kids in a questioning, open world is what's most important, so that they can, you know, make informed, compassionate decisions based on love going forward. So,
and 4 kids. Four kids.
It's so many. It's
4
so
rounds
weird.
of soccer class. Like my brain hurts.
I mean, the amount of diapers that you went through. But what are their personalities? How are they different, or how are they the same?
Oh, they're all so different. And we didn't go over this, but we have kind of a weird custody arrangement because their dad lives in a small town. I lived in that small town before the divorce with him. And when the divorce happened, I was like, hey, I will implode here. This is not a place where I can grow and like move on. But he he feels like a big fish in a small pond. I believe. These are all my assumptions. Okay, I'm not making any firm statements.
So until he's a guest on here, we just believe everything you say. It's fine.
He's our guest next week, so we'll confirm with him.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Okay.
Insert
we're not
joke
gonna,
here.
I was gonna. So they are about 2 hours away from, like, I'm in the Salt Lake metro area. And so their dad lives about 2 hours away. And we spent hours in mediation and could not find a way to come to a custody arrangement that we were both happy with, right? Because he wasn't happy about me divorcing him. Right. And so he definitely wanted to take the kids. And at one point he asked for me to only have supervised visitation, which is insane. Yeah. I know.
But was there a little part of you that was like, good luck?
Oh, that sounds
Go
great.
ahead. Go for it. Good
Yes.
luck.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Except for that, like, in a small town, there is some misogyny in the courts. So anyway, so we spent hours and hours trying to, like, just going nowhere in mediation, most expensive day of my life. And so finally we reached an arrangement where we're like, we just have to do 50-50. And for the first 6 months, the kids were homeschooled. And it takes me back to the COVID disgustingness. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was heinous, but I feel like it was okay. Because it just allowed us to be together a lot, right? I had the kids 1 week, he had the kids 1 week. And then that wasn't sustainable. So then we went to a system where I have the younger two for the school week. He has the older two for the school week. And then every weekend the kids are all together and it just rotates which house. Okay. So it's weird. It's been working though. So it is hard though, because I do feel like my influence is very different on different kids, right? So my oldest has always been a very tough personality. She likes things to be the way she likes them. Mm-hmm. And then my second oldest, she was always very sweet. She was the one that like hugged, like when she's a baby, she would like hug other babies. And she's got a little harder because now she's in middle school. She's gotten a little.
Yep. Welcome.
So that makes me kind of sad.
Yeah.
But
it is sad to see your kids, like some of like the shininess wear off a little bit, not to your doing, just because of the world. Or like today, my son, as I was walking him to his door that he has to go into his elementary school, 20 feet beforehand, he like let go of my hand. And I was like, what's going on, honey? And he was like, I just don't want to hold you. And I was like, oh no, it's starting.
Yep.
It's starting.
You never know the last time you wash their hair or hold their hands or pick them up. Or maybe you screw it up yourself by forgetting tooth fairy duties also. And so then you're at fault.
Yeah.
Too soon, Gabe.
You're the one that does ruin it. Yeah. No, but she is also my child that has like an inattentive ADHD. And so I'm worried about her because I think it's really easy for her to like get down on herself. Right. Mm-hmm. So but she is 2 hours away from me a lot of the time. So that's hard. But so then my third, she is 9. And she does not have ADHD because anytime she wants to learn something, she could just go in her room with YouTube and she will come out. She taught herself how to do gymnastics in her room.
YouTube.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. And so then we had to like sign her up for gymnastics. And anyway, so she's a go-getter and I love that. She's like the one that I could see her being anything. Like she could literally be a CEO, or she'd be equally as good at like being like a drill sergeant. She could do anything. Mm-hmm. And then my son, he's 7. He's just like the sweetest, except for that part where I did ruin the tooth fairy. Right. He's just the sweetest. He makes me pinky promise him every day that I'll come pick him up from his classroom.
Oh, that's the best.
And so he's like, he wants me to like lay in bed with him at night. Every time I tuck him in, he's like, just a few minutes.
Yeah.
So we're still at that. But yeah, he's funny. All my kids are funny, and they give me as many insults as I deserve.
Which then you pass on to your excited public with all of the insults that you lash out for all of them.
Yeah, that's how I get it out of my. I'm just like because I get it at home, and so I have to go.
Would you have been able to have the psychological humor that you bring to your social media presence before you got divorced? I mean, did you have that emotional awareness?
Yes, in a way, where externally, I feel like I've always been the same person. I've just had like different levels of like me being able to be okay with that part of myself, right? So I think I always had that in me. I was always, I was always sassy. But I think the thing that allows me to do it now online is that the divorce taught me that people will say things about you, and that doesn't mean it's true.
Nice.
And if you can completely separate yourself from that, the kind of freedom you have is just crazy. So I think that allowed me to be okay being seen by people, because I just don't care what people say about me unless they're my kids, right? I generally don't care what people who are outside of my life say about me or believe about me. It's very easy for me to accept that people can be wrong about me. So like people can come comment on my thing and be like, oh, all real estate agents are leeches to society. And I'm like,
okay. Fine.
I mean, people say to Gavin that he's a top, but he doesn't let that stop him. Do you know what I mean? Like he would never let that.
Judgment is not going to put me in just one lane. I want all the lanes, always, always, because. Where are you going to be in the next few years? Are you going to continue just absolutely entertaining me and many out there, or what's the plan for the next few years?
I don't know. Okay. I mean, I would hope that the things I'm doing now, we're just on that trajectory, right? So we kind of didn't touch on this, but in the last, month, I have been pretty overtly political, where I feel like my content has always been, my content has always been political in a way, but it's been more like winky, right? Like I'll make some sarcastic comment about, I don't know, capitalism or something. And, but it's never been quite as overt as it is, because I feel like this moment that we're in really calls for us to not be winky anymore, to like really stand, especially when you've got like this pallor of skin that I have and this accidental privilege. I feel like I should.
It's amazing. I guarantee you, it was the straw for Gavin to totally become obsessed with you, is that you're overtly political. But also I loved, you just recently did a video about, you did this like analogy of like a boat. And it was really funny. And one of the comments was like, and like they made a Noah's Ark allegory, and you were like, no, babe. That was not what this was. This was not a Noah's Ark thing, you fucking psychopath.
No. Don't co-opt my metaphor.
Absolutely.
That was a metaphor about like how, because I think one thing people are missing so much is they just want to correct people that are MAGA, right? They're just like, if you just had the facts, and that's not what's separating us from MAGA. It's really like, it is a cult. And so I, as a cult survivor, understand very much that they feel so threatened and scared about questioning things, because like, what if you do start questioning whether or not these things are okay or right, and stop trusting these people, then that means like you have then been complicit in all these horrible things that they've done, because you haven't spoken up against it. You haven't, like, you voted that way, you put these people into power. So anyway, but no, I've been, do you have a question?
It has been fascinating to watch that, because I was definitely a Kaitlin fan before it became political, but it has been like, I was like, she's the real deal, and she's doubling down, and it is admirable, and it is brave. I mean, let's not
it's brave but necessary.
Brave but necessary.
I don't think it's brave at all.
Well, it shouldn't be, but it is.
Well, but when people do make their living on social... Listen, we have had many social media people on this podcast who, before we were recording, talk about this exact balance. They're like, I am super liberal, I'm super like... But also, if I speak out, 50% of my audience goes away. And that is a balance.
That is a lie. That is a lie. So that's the thing that I want people to understand, is that I had these conversations with my husband, who he is a dreamboat. I love everything about him. I'm pretty obsessed with him. But he is very risk averse, right? Personality wise, he and I are not the same person. And so he's very risk averse. And so we've had these conversations of me being like, hey, I feel really compelled to be open about this. I feel like I have this privilege, I have this platform, and I think it's the right thing to do for me to speak about it. And him being like, hey, that would make sense if we were 10 years down the line and we were so secure, and we're not right now, right? Like, when you're in real estate, your income is variable, and we have goals, right? Like we got married this last year. So
congratulations.
We're still building a life. Thank you. We're still building a life, right? And so his very fair argument is he's worried that I might be putting this this desire for me to say these things in front of our actual lives and like what our practical lives are about. And I said, okay, but it feels like a moment of self-betrayal. And so we talked about this a lot because I didn't want to discount what he was saying and his very valid fears, but I also couldn't just say, okay, I'll ignore it. And so we talked through this whole thing, and I posted the one that was most overtly political, and I have gained 25,000 followers from it or something.
Yeah.
And
the right kind of followers, right? The people who you want on your side. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes.
I mean, I bet it attracts a lot of negative attention too, but still good.
Not as much as you'd think.
Okay.
Not, I mean, or maybe I just don't care. Maybe I just like glaze past it.
I mean, honestly, either way, I as somebody who is in the crosshairs, we very much appreciate it. Like, I mean, just the other day, like the Trump administration took down the fucking pride flag at Stonewall. So, like for us, it is very much appreciated that you are, whether you think it or not, risking whatever you are doing.
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
As somebody who was brainwashed young to be very liberal, progressive, and questioning everything, I really applaud how you've gone from zero to woke very quickly. I mean, it's admirable. I admire so much the path that you've had to walk, because I didn't have to walk it except for the whole coming out of the closet part, which was, as we've said, is analogous for sure.
Well, okay. So can I go backwards? Because like you kind of assume that people that are religious or Mormon, they are not progressive or woke, and I felt like I always was, and so that was one of the things that I had an issue with, is that like the church is homophobic, right, and very anti-gay, and I didn't. When I was a kid, when I hadn't been exposed to that kind of thing, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then when I started having my experience widen, I was like meeting people. I was like, wait, maybe love is just love. And so then I had a problem with that. So like I have always been political, and I've always been progressive leaning, even when I was within the church. So like when I was a senior in high school, it was 2008 and Barack Obama was running for president, and it was just like golden age. And I skipped school because the Obamas were in town and I wanted to go hear them speak. And Michelle ended up speaking. Barack didn't end up speaking that day, but
which frankly is fine. We just, because she's the one who really walks on water, it's fine.
But also, Kaitlin, last week our guest was a Secret Service agent for Michelle Obama.
Really?
Yes, which you know because you listened to it.
And also, this is in the future. But this is the future, because this is the end of February, and this episode right this second has not been released. But when this episode is released, it will have been released. It is very complicated over here. It's very you remember that. It was great. But you know what? I will say, I experienced the same thing in Utah. Is like there was this, like, of all the cults, of all the religious cults in the world, this was the most progressive feeling. But I remember having a conversation. I was working at a show in Salt Lake City, and one of the other actors was full LDS, and her husband was fully gay, but whatever. They had 100,000 children, and we were talking about, and gay marriage was not legal at the time. And she was like, "David, we Mormons love gay people. Are you kidding me?" And I was like, wait a minute. She's like, you just can't have sex before you're married. I said, but we can't get married. And she just looked at me and smiled. And I went, oh, you fucking... I think it's even worse when they're as liberal and we love everybody. No, you fucking don't. You're still in a religious psychosis. And I think that's why, like, I almost prefer the crazy, we hate gay people, religious people, because I like to see my enemies.
There's an honesty.
Like, have some fucking ethics. Yeah. Anyway.
In the line of politics, has it changed your friend group in Salt Lake City, or the folks you hang out with, or has your social circle changed at all?
No, because I feel like if you are trying to actually live your life, your truth, then like you should be surrounded by people that, and not saying that all of my friends would be like, oh yeah, I definitely think that you should post overtly political things. I think you should definitely say fuck ice on the internet. Right. But no, it hasn't changed that. Good. And even like my parents are not MAGA, which is wonderful. But I think that I probably am a lot more outspoken than they would feel comfortable with. But they haven't said anything. My mom was just like, look how many views this one has.
Great. That might be also generational. I mean, it could be the religion, but it could also just be generational. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was just like, how do you keep up with all the comments?
Well,
so
it's a testament.
That to me feels like acceptance.
It's a testament to you. It's a testament to her. You know what? One thing you brought up earlier is we didn't get to talk about your husband, the husband now, but anything more?
Husband. Mm-hmm. Yes. Is this the moment where I formally?
We're here.
Can I nominate him for DILF of the Week?
Absolutely. Listen, we've never had anybody nominate their own husband for DILF of the Week. So we don't even know what he looks like. He could be a total uggo, but he's for sure.
He could be, but trust me. So he's technically not a daddy. Mm-hmm. He is a stepdaddy. So maybe he's step DILF of the Week. No, right. Mm-hmm. He's an S DILF. He's the S line. He is meant to be a stepdad, by the way. I think that if he and I tried to raise a child from infancy together, that would, he's like a supercharged uncle. It's so fun. It's like such the right dynamic we need, because I can be kind of I panic every time my kids do something that I'm like, what if they turn out to be bad people? And he keeps me really grounded. And he can be lighter about it. So his name's Brian. Do you need a picture? Do you need
Sure.
Just for some proof? Absolutely.
You can also text us nudes, like whatever you have. Right. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're having.
Right. Whatever you have in your phone that could be for. Luckily, this is an audio platform anyway, so it's fine.
Okay. Well, okay. I have a couple. Oh. So do we want solo or do we want the
solo? We don't need you in those pictures. We see you right now.
We already know what you look like. Just look.
Oh yeah. Cute. 10 out of 10. Absolutely. 10 out of 10. No, super hot. Super boyish. Big arms.
He's so strong.
He's a winner.
I know.
He's definitely
his hair's so great. Do you guys want to see? I put
in this process, we only need one nomination, and since this is the first nomination we've ever gotten, I think he might be our number one DILF of the Week. But
yes, he's our number one.
And will he be open to being the DILF of the Week? And you don't necessarily know what it is entailed or requires.
That's right. We'll send him a letter of all the requirements he has to do. He has to have sex with 3 men in the next week. Yeah, no. It's a sexual thing. But I do want you to text us whatever photo you want us to put on the Instagram of him for the DILF of the Week. Preferably with a tight t-shirt or shirtless, okay?
Okay, yeah. But wait. I have one more picture that I feel like this is just him playing with the kids. He's just casually.
Yes. Okay, that's the photo.
He's a winner.
And also as somebody from the South with the tank top tan line, hot, super hot, loving it.
Absolute winner.
And he's like a feminist. He's so comfortable in his masculinity.
That's what we need.
Love it. Love it. Well, 10 out of 10. Winner.
Hopefully we will help just change the world just by having him as our first nominee for DILF of the Week. All right, Kaitlin, tell us, when did you earn your parenting stripes and find out that, this is for real? I'll never forget this moment.
Oh my gosh. Well, so many times. And I do think that I've blocked out a lot of it.
Understandable.
So do you want the first time or do you want one of the most intense times?
Most intense.
We love it.
Okay. So here, maybe this ties into the DILF of the Week, because this was something he and Brian and I shared together. We were in California last year. We had gone out because I had got the opportunity to go to an Airbnb and like make a video there, and it was incredible. It was on the coast. There's black sands beaches in Northern California. Mm-hmm. It was such a fun vacation, and we got waylaid on our way back to the airport. And so there's 4 kids with us. Okay. We are traveling with all 4 kids. Uh-huh. And we've done everything right. Like we have TSA pre-check. We're getting through TSA pre-check, but we're like, we are not going to make this. So he goes ahead and goes through and sprints to the gate and says, please wait for us. And then he sprints back and grabs children, and we run through the airport. My oldest, she's like, no one's carrying her. She's 14 years old, and she's sprinting with her bag. And then at one point she just starts walking, and I'm like, you're going to ruin this for us. But he is like literally carrying children and carrying bags and sprinting through the airport. And I don't even know what I was carrying. It was hard. I was like, this is the greatest feat of athleticism I have ever personally done. But we made it to the gate. Uh-huh. And so I don't know what would have happened with the 6 of us if we hadn't made that flight.
Oh my God.
I don't think it would have been good.
No.
But it was like such a moment of wow, we can do anything.
We can do anything. We had this Home Alone moment, and we can do anything. The world is our oyster.
Yeah.
Oh God, getting stuck in
no
an
one
airport.
Punched each other.
No, getting stuck in an airport. My husband was traveling solo with our then 5-year-old, and they got delayed for 6 hours, but not delayed for 6 hours, delayed for an hour. And then again another hour, and then another hour for 6 hours. And my husband was texting me. He goes, "I'm going to leave him here. Like I'm just going to leave him here.
Very relatable.
Next flight out of here.
Very relatable.
We are obsessed with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never leave us,
please.
Where can people
Kaitlin,
find you?
Oh yeah.
On the Instagrams, you can be one of my gremlins if you'd like to join that club.
At Realtor Kaitlin, right?
Yeah, Realtor Kaitlin. And there's like 1,000 ways to spell Kaitlin, so
just
like
pick
maybe
one.
you'll find the wrong one. I don't know.
Half of them are Mormon. Half of them are Mormon with creative spelling. But Kaitlin, thank you so much for demeaning yourself by being on our stupid little podcast. We can't wait to bring you back another time, perhaps with the DILF as well.
Oh my gosh, I'll tell him no shirts allowed on this podcast.
Both of you. I want to see titties out. Thank you, Kaitlin.
Thank you. For me, it's a simple something great, and it actually is basically about myself, and which is eventually, in the exhaustion that is parenting, of hearing yourself repeat yourself over and over and over and over again. If you're lucky, you'll have a something great moment in your life where your kids actually do the thing that you have been nagging them about for the past 14 years. And I have to say, over these last couple of days of Snowmageddon, and my daughter, as you inferred correctly, has been on really good behavior because she does have a witness to her behavior. She actually trashed the kitchen, but cleaned up without being asked to.
Wow.
Now, she is 14, and it has taken us 14 years to get to this point. But my something great is just stick with it. Yes, nag for 14 years straight. It is worth it because eventually, one time,
14 short years later,
they will do what you hoped they would have done in the first place as good humans.
My something great is the parents of, when you are a parent, you will start being forced to be in social situations with other parents that you don't know because of your kids in the same school or daycare or whatever. And some of those parents are just like, hi, how are you? Some of them are pretty great people. And so my something great is we have met some really great people in the past couple of years being parents, and they have stuck around as real friends. And so we took the leap with some of our friends. And we vacationed together last week. We spent a long 3-day Valentine's Day weekend renting this gorgeous Airbnb. And both of our families, they have 2 kids. We have 2 kids. We all just decided, hey, let's risk our friendship and go on a vacation together. And it was so fucking fun. And the kids were awesome. And the house was cool. And it was just a cool reminder that I think we as parents sometimes, when we, especially the beginning, you start to feel like my social life is over. I will never have a life outside of parenting. And then you meet some cool people and you're like, I still have friends. They're just also yelling at their kids at the same time. But you get to yell at kids in parallel, which is super fun. So my something
Takes
great,
a village.
Yeah, my something great is a great vacation with friends. And that is our show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general compliments, you can email us at GaytriarchsPodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at GaytriarchsPodcast. On the internet, David is at David FM Vaughn everywhere, and Gavin is at Gavin Lodge on missionary style, be it Mormon or sexual.
Please leave us a glowing 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks, and we'll sell a house to you next time on another episode of Gaytriarchs.